Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is B Street Sports Talk Radio. I am your host, Lee, a.k.a. the Hoop Guru. Today we got a good show. We'll talk a little NFL, talk a little basketball, and just get us caught up with things that happened over the weekend. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, feel free to give me a call at 347-945-6921. Again, this is B Street Sports Talk Radio. And we had a pretty good weekend of sports, y'all. A lot of good things happened over the weekend. I was able to see the Washington Wizards play against the Philadelphia 76ers and see the retirement of Allen Iverson. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the debate in sports about the N-word and some other things. So let's get into it. MKA should arrive sometime during the show. The show will have him jump in here and add to the banter. But let's get into it. First, I'd like to start with the NFL. It looks like Anquan Boldin and the 49ers reached an agreement. He signed a 2-year deal for $12 million. After the year he had, that does make a lot of sense. I see he had a very productive season, and it's not a type of contract that breaks the bank at all and keeps their receiving core intact. Now you just hope Crabtree is healthy and maybe someone like Manning can get on board, and they should be set to make another run. I know San Francisco's probably feeling a little anxious at this particular time. You know, they've been to the championship, the NFC championship the last 3 years and won once and made it to the Super Bowl. I know Kaepernick and those guys just want to kind of envious of Seattle and want what they have. So I know they're going to rededicate themselves, and a great way to start by doing that is re-signing a receiver like Anquan Boldin. I'm sure the Baltimore Ravens, after last year, realized letting him go may have been a mistake. I believe some of the quality games he had with San Francisco, if he could have stayed in Baltimore and did that, there might have been a difference between them making the playoffs and missing the playoffs, which they did do miss the playoffs. So congratulations to Bolden getting that money. Of course, the NFL contracts aren't guaranteed, so it's, who knows if he'll pocket all of that, but hey, it's better than having no deal at all. And another topic I'd like to talk about, the NFL, and I'm going to post a question on this on my sports page on Facebook as well, because I'd like to get some verbal dialogue from you guys about this. It's the N-word. The NFL has proposed something where a referee can flag players for using the N-word, and the N-word we know is the word nigger, just in case somebody doesn't know what that is, so we know. You know, when we use something like the N-word, I think it takes away from the magnitude of the word. So basically, the NFL doesn't want anybody saying the word nigger on the field. And doing that, you can get a 15-yard penalty. I know what their intentions are, but I don't know if I agree with actually instituting something like that in the sport. One is because words can be misconstrued or taken differently or taken out of context. And you don't know if are we going to find someone for saying that word against an opponent or saying it to his teammate in a more receptive fashion. You know, how do we do that? And then if we use this word, do we also start instituting gay slurs, slurs against Caucasians, let's say, like calling them derogatory names that may come from different races, or just using profanity, period, on the field. You know, I don't know if it's in the NFL's best interest to start dictating what words are acceptable, what derogatory terms are acceptable and unacceptable, and also if it's something that may impact the game outside of the physical performance. That's always kind of dangerous. So I see a lot of sports talk shows and things debating this, and it's going to be interesting if something's going to be, if this is going to be instituted, because if so, this could be a slippery slope for a lot of things to come. And the NFL is smart, though. They have the biggest brand in sports in the country right now, and I don't think they're going to do anything to hurt that brand or stop the ball from rolling. So I doubt if this goes into play. Maybe it's something they're going to ask particular teams to institute and police themselves. Who knows? But the initial onset doesn't seem like a great idea. I like the intent, when you come from a good place in the heart, but I just don't know if it's practical in the sports environment. But we shall see. We'll keep our eye on the progress of this topic and see how it goes down the line. Now, the next topic I guess I'll get into is basketball and the retirement of Allen Iverson, a prolific player for the Philadelphia 76ers. And one thing I got to give Philadelphia credit for, when they love you, And I could be a testament to that because as a kid, my favorite team was the Sixers. That was the first basketball team I fell in love with. My father was a big Dr. J fan, and I believe the Sixers were like the second team I actually saw win the championship. I think that's what was my love for sports started with the Sixers and actually wanting to play basketball. I remember as a kid just being in my room, fantasizing of being the point guard for the Sixers, playing with Andrew Toney, Dr. J, Bobby Jones, and Moses Malone. I used to think about playing the Lakers in the finals and winning the championship. I actually used to record the commentary of these fantasy games and play them while I was laying in bed, envisioning being in the NBA. So, that was my fantasy and falling in love with basketball, and it started with the 76ers. And also I remember the parade they threw for Dr. J when he retired. And I always thought that was cool, just how much, the fans appreciated an icon like him. And the admiration for Allen Iverson seemed kind of in the same vein. Of course, the fanfare wasn't as big as Dr. J, near as Dr. J, but, they're opposite ends of the spectrum as far as personality and public persona. But I think everybody appreciates Allen Iverson's hard work attitude. And it's good to see him get love in that vernacular. It's good to see that Dr. J was there. I saw Moses Malone, Billy King, the former manager, the former president, Pat Croce, Theo Ratliff I saw in the crowd there, and just a host of others that were there to pay homage to this Allen Iverson, who's going to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer, guaranteed. And, it's good for him to have these moments because I don't know how many more moments Iverson's going to actually have in the realm of basketball, to tell the truth. He doesn't, dress or present himself as someone who's going to transition into other arenas in basketball, a la Grant Hill doing inside stuff or doing some commentary or being on TNT with the guys or in the NBA TV studios. We definitely know coaching's not going to be in his future, at least, or maybe someone to give him a smaller coaching job. But, after statements like practice, we're talking about practice, it just makes it hard to envision him coaching basketball and being a leader in that capacity. So you just wonder what the future holds for Allen Iverson. And you hope it's the best. You don't want someone's triumphs to be in life to be something that's in the rearview mirror of and thinking of times that have been. So, I'm just happy that he was able to have another day in the spotlight, and just hope he doesn't have plenty of regrets. But it was good to see the fans cheer him on, and just pay homage to somebody outside. I say Isaiah Thomas was probably one of the best small men to play the game. He's definitely ferocious, but I can't say he was more ferocious than Isaiah Thomas. But, he took a very lackluster team to the NBA Finals against a powerhouse Lakers team, and you really got to respect that of him. And, if we even go back, you have to think this success he has all could have been for naught, because when he was in high school, Allen Iverson was arrested for, I believe, a brawl in a bowling alley his junior year in high school and was in prison. And the reason he was given, what's that word I'm looking for? Don't have it at the top of my head right now. I'm sorry about that. But he was given a pardon, there you go, by the governor, Doug Wilder, at the time. And that allowed him to get a scholarship at the University of Georgetown under John Thompson, even though Allen Iverson was a blue-chip player, I believe, in football and basketball. And he had a great, I believe, 2 years career at Georgetown University. John Thompson really kind of had to change the way he coached for Allen Iverson. He was normally the guy of defensive big men, but, he had a fast-breaking style more with Allen Iverson. And he had a little bit of success with his years in Georgetown, but, it was just good to, I'm glad that those things happened to change his particular life around so that he was able to utilize his particular potential that he had and be the man who today got his number retired with the Sixers. I mean, that's the ultimate accomplishment, I believe, as an athlete, that you played for a team so well that no one in the history of that organization will ever be able to don your uniform again. I think that should be the goal and vision of every athlete. And you would think that, but few have ever done it, and he's one of them. So congratulations, Allen Iverson. And now that I've kind of ran the gambit with that, let's talk about a few different things that are going on in the NBA. John Wall and James Harden were given the NBA Player of the Week for their responses. The Wizards right now are riding a 6-game winning streak. And what are the Houston Rockets? I believe they're on a pretty good streak right now, too. Well, yeah, they are actually – no, their streak was broken. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games and on a 1-game streak, but they're 40-19 right now. And what's crazy in the West is that's only good for the 5th seed. So being 21 games over 500 in the West doesn't even give you home court advantage in the playoffs right now. That's how crazy it is in the West. But it seems like Harden and the boys in Houston are really starting to gel. Dwight Howard and Parsons and all those guys are really getting into form. And it's going to be very interesting in the West. I mean, I can't say for sure there's a clear-cut favorite, 1 through 9, to tell the truth. Because Memphis is in the number 9 place, but they're tied for Dallas in the loss column, and they're only 1 game in the loss column, being in the 6th place in the West. And they're a team right now that's, 8 games over 500, Memphis. So as we go down the stretch, it's going to be interesting as well. Memphis has a big game tonight. They play a hot Washington Wizards team that's on a 6-game winning streak. They play the Wizards on the road. Like not to mention before, John Wall got the NBA Player of the Week for the East. He had a fantastic game against Toronto this past, was it Saturday? Can't remember the day of the week. I'm sorry for that, but it was a Thursday. It was a triple overtime game against the Toronto Raptors, and the Wizards were victorious in that game. I believe John Wall had 31 points that game, and that was a big win for them because that was the first time they actually beat Toronto this year, and I have a feeling that those two teams are going to see each other in the playoffs. And then the Wizards also had a game Saturday when they played Philadelphia, the retirement of Allen Iverson's jersey. That's a game where Trevor Ariza had a career-high 40 points. He dropped 24 in the first period. I believe John Wall had 8 or 9 assists in that first period as well. And Trevor Ariza is playing fantastic basketball right now. I still, as great as he's playing and with chemistry as with the Wizards, I'm still leery because this is a contract year for Trevor Ariza. And we've seen in the past his motivation in contract years when he was a Laker, and then he signed that big contract with Houston, I believe it was, at the time. So, is history going to repeat itself with Ariza again? Do the Wizards re-sign him for having a career year and give him a contract with a great salary? And, you have to think about Bradley Beal re-signing him. And also, 2016, 2015, there's going to be some quality small forwards available. Kevin Durant is one. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you have a Washington Wizards team that's playing, a playoff contender, what will be better than to, have Ariza come out and bring someone like Kevin Durant in? The prodigal son comes home and brings a championship to the district. Stranger things have happened, but you have to keep your options open. And I don't know, locking yourself in a 3 or 4 year deal with Ariza is ideal to do over the next few years. But he's definitely playing great basketball. He's going to get he's going to get a good contract from someone, and as long as he plays that well in the playoffs, I'm not going to can't be mad at him at all about that. Another sign that I see is Antoine Jamison. He was released by the Atlanta Hawks when he was traded there from the Clippers, and it looks like he's interested in signing with the Charlotte Bobcats. And I know people are like, what? The Bobcats? But right now, the Bobcats are in the 7th seed in the East. They've lost two in a row. They're playing good ball, but I can see them in an Atlanta situation where they're starting to slip and feel the pressure from teams under them. And, adding a veteran like Jamison may just be the boost they need. I could see him taking some minutes from McRoberts, and just being a veteran presence, being a stabilizing force, being a go-to person on the opposite side of Al Jefferson. So, and if it doesn't cost him anything, I don't see how that would hurt at all. So, if he goes there and is able to bring his home team of Charlotte into the playoffs, something they haven't seen in a long time, I say go for it. And I wish Jamison good luck. He's always been a classy veteran, never had any type of drama, good locker room presence, good leadership presence, and just a quality individual. So I hope he does, able to help his home team, and we can see him and actually playing some productive basketball in the near future. And I guess in an effort to facilitate the signing of Antoine Jamison, the Charlotte Bobcats had to clear a roster spot. So it looks like they waived Ben Gordon. And Ben, I feel sorry for Ben Gordon because it seemed like ever since he signed that nice contract with the Detroit Pistons when he left Chicago, it just seemed like that was the worst move he could have made for his career, because he hasn't really done anything substantial since that. And it's unfortunate. I remember his nickname was Ben Jordan. He used to light it up. You see him shoot, you could take over games, kind of a modern day Vinnie Johnson. And you wonder where he's going to be now. I'm sure there's going to be teams that are interested in him. I've heard he has personality issues, kind of a locker room cancer guy. So you wonder if his reputation precedes him is going to be a situation where some of these teams that are set to make good playoff runs are willing to pick him up. But there's no denying the guy can catch and shoot and get hot. If he has any resemblance of the guy that was on the Bulls, I say give him a look. As a matter of fact, I know Chicago's like, dang, maybe we should have waited a day before we signed Jimmer Fredette, because Ben Gordon's a better version of Fredette, does the same thing he does with better athleticism, better ball handling, if he still has the talent as the guy he was a few years ago. But it'll be interesting to see. There's teams out there who would definitely love to have signing, something like the San Antonio Spurs. They pop out to my mind. I don't think Miami needs any more. I don't think the Pacers need any more shooting either. But Chicago, they always could use some additional firepower. And even a team like Portland or the Memphis Grizzlies could use some additional firepower as well. So we'll see how long he stays on the open market before he joins a particular team. It'll be very interesting to see. And pretty much, I think I ran the gambit pretty much on the latest happening in sports today. I'm sorry that MK couldn't join. I would love to hear his mouth about some of these topics, but we'll get him on the next show whenever possible. But as I always say, thanks for listening to the show, and we'll be talking soon. Stay safe, y'all. This is BC4 Talk Radio. Peace.